I hope that you're having the best week and that your Lent season is going well. If you're fasting, I'd love to know how you're doing. I want to do a video talking about how it's going for me, asking you guys some questions about how yours is going. I also have an interview that I need to get up. I'm just trying to figure out the details on how I'm going to post about that. But anywho, sorry. Welcome back to A Safe Place. If you're new here, my name is Mariah, and we are currently going through the book of Hebrews through the season of Lent. And today we are reading chapter 5. We're actually starting in chapter 4 in verse 14, I believe, and then reading through chapter 5. What's happening? Okay, so Christ, the great high priest, is compared to Aaron, the first high priest. Okay, so let's get into chapter 5. We're going to start in chapter 4, reading verses 14 through 16, and then straight through 5. Okay. Since then, we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God. Let us hold fast our confession. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need. For every high priest chosen from among men is appointed to act on behalf of men in relation to God, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins. He can deal gently with the ignorant and wayward, since he himself is beset with weakness. Because of this, he is obligated to offer sacrifice for his own sins, just as he does for those of the people. And no one takes this honor for himself, but only when called by God, just as Aaron was. So also Christ did not exalt himself to be made a high priest, but was appointed by him who said to him, "You are my son, today I have begotten you." As he says also in another place, "You are a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek." In the days of his flesh, Jesus offered up prayers and supplications with loud cries and tears to him who was able to save him from death, and he was heard because of his reverence. Although he was a son, he learned obedience through what he suffered, and being made perfect, he became the source of eternal salvation to all who obey him, being designated by God a high priest after the order of Melchizedek. About this we have much to say, and it is hard to explain, since we have become dull of hearing. For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you, again, the basic principles of the oracles of God. You need milk, not solid food, for everyone who lives on milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, since he is a child. But solid food is for the mature, for those who have their powers of discernment trained by constant practice to distinguish good from evil. God appointed the high priest to make intercession and atonement for Israel. He was able to identify with people in their struggle against sin because he too was human. The priest couldn't overlook sin in God's people, nor deal with it in a harsh manner. The fact that he had to deal with his own weaknesses first brought compassion and patience. Jesus, however, can identify forever with mankind as a better high priest because he faced the same temptations, yet was without sin. Rather than make atonement for sin, he became the atonement for all sin for all time. What are you needing to bring to the throne of grace? Around this time last year, I was doing an exercise in a book that a friend of mine recommended to me. And I was answering a prompt that read something along the lines of envision yourself at the feet of Jesus. So at the bottom of the throne of grace. And where do you see yourself in that? And it was like, write your experience. And in that moment, I had this overwhelming vision where I was at his throne, but I was bowed way, way back. I wasn't right there at his feet. But Jesus walked toward me, and I watched his feet come into view, having my head bowed. And I just was weeping. And when I came to, I was weeping, obviously. And it was just one of the most powerful experiences that I think I've ever experienced. And in that, I think I have that written down somewhere in here. Let's see. Yeah. And I was brought to 1 Peter. Okay, I wasn't even brought to it. The air kicked on in the building that I was in and flipped the pages to this part. And it's 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 6 through 9, but I had highlighted the whole section from 3 to 9. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and read it for you. Starting in verse 6. In this you rejoice, though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes though it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Though you have not seen him, you love him. Though you do not now see him, you believe in him and rejoice with joy that is inexpressible and filled with glory, obtaining the outcome of your faith, the salvation of your souls. If I think too hard about that, I will weep again. But I just felt like someone probably needed to hear that today. How cool is it that we have a high priest that came down to live like us, to understand us better, to show us that he knows us, that he has known us, that he has known us from the moment that he knit us in our mother's wombs. He has known you always. How incredible is it that no matter what we go through, he can sympathize with that. He can empathize with that. He sits with you in it. So whatever you're holding on to and whatever hurt that you're experiencing right now, I just want to encourage you to take it to the throne of grace. Take it to his feet and give it to him. Because there's so much peace and rest in that, and he wants to give it to you. All you have to do is let go. There's so much power in surrender. And pride tells us that that's not true. The enemy tries to convince us that that's not the way to do it, that you can do it all on your own. You can't. You can't. You can't control anything on your own when you're not in control of the world, right? Just take it to his feet. Okay, I hope you have the most blessed day, and I will see you back here next time for chapter 6.